Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Bashem Mashiach Yahushai, Bashem Araka Kadesh, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Brakatham to the Akim, Wakim out there, guarding his truth in all sincerity, to the 1/3 men, women, and children, or Slack to the Akim Wakim out there, teaching his truth in all sincerity, teaching the downfall of Esau, the 2/3 his wicked kingdom and these heathens. To the Habayish, to the 1/3 men, women, and children, in that order that's guarding his truth, to the best of their ability, to the Habayish Dawadah, the house of David, to the 144 elect men chosen from the beginning of the earth, known from the womb, Kwam Yashala, rise Israel, Lama Lang Yang, forever and ever. Our Father, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine are the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever and ever. Lama Lam Yang, Amen. Alrighty, something I want to go over is basically what you see right here is, okay, so throughout school, throughout history, wherever, we get told lies, we get told partial truths. See, we know they said in school who went into history, who went into slavery, when they went into slavery, and where they went in slavery, and what happened in slavery. So they had who, when, what, who, when, where, and what, right? So that doesn't even cover it. Why? Those are all lies. But the real question is why? Why were we enslaved? Why would people enslave their brothers, right? Let's read about this. So this is Deuteronomy 29 and 26. It says, for they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them, right? Did he give unto them other gods? See, this is why slavery happened. They tell you that, hey, you were just taken. All these other nations joined up against you. They tell you that you were black. They say that it was a white thing. But they don't tell you about the Africans that joined in, the African hunters and the Arab hunters, the Arabic whatever hunters, and the Zionist Jews. They don't tell you about that, right? The Ashkenazis, right? They don't teach you about that. They don't teach you who you are. They say who, meaning a color. A color is not a who. Since when did black become a who? When did black become a place? When did black become a language? Okay? And when did black become history? You get what I'm saying? A when. See, you can say Jews. It's like, okay, when Jews. You can say Romans, but black. Who does that describe? White. Who does that describe? That describes no one. Those are just descriptions. You say black, people could think Africans. You say white, you think people could say French. That's not what it is at all. See, here's the thing. You can serve other gods and still be from Israel and not look like an Israelite and get punished. See, you have to remember that there's rules to this. This is Numbers 1 and 18. And yes, we do King James Version. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together. Okay, the congregation is not you going in this building. The congregation is the tribes, okay? Together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families. by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their polls. You get that? So it came by the pedigree of the father. There's no Jew. You're not a Jew by your mother. You're a Jew by your father. You're not a Levite by your mother. You're a Levite by your father. See? So this whole black-white thing doesn't matter. What matters, that's a description when it's talking about Esau. What matters is if the spirit goes back to Israel. See, people hate this word. And that's cool. We hate you too. Because they don't love the tough love. The tough love is us telling you this. It says, what's the word? Open rebuke is better than, closet love or quiet, secretive love, But y'all like that closet love, that secret love, that hidden, that adulterous love. The sneaking around bullshit. No, we ain't doing that here. Okay, we some kings and some rulerships. So what y'all doing with all your Black Lives Matter, all your LGBTQT, y'all pawns. The real men of the Lord, the 144,000, we the kings, we the rooks, the knights, the bishops. Okay, we the real people back here. And we keep telling y'all little pawns, y'all women that think y'all so slutty and adulterous, go ahead, do your thing. We ain't telling you to do your thing actually, but you ain't gonna listen. We tell you already, you're gonna get put to death. We'll raise a new pawn up and make a princess. We don't need you. We'll cross her across that board. She'll understand this knowledge. Do you get it? Okay? So this don't matter if it's after the seed of the father. So if a heathen woman, even though the Bible says not to give your child unto a heathen, she may look like a heathen. Her father's gonna go back to Israel or not. Whatever. If she's gonna serve you, cool. You can use her as a concubine. You can't marry these women. Even though sex is marriage, right? Still can't marry these women. What am I going to say? What else? Okay, so Slacky, I kind of got off, but it's not about the color, okay? As I've told you before, and I've shown you before, what's her name? Butler something. Let's put a Butler. See, this is where Eleanor Butler, okay? Basically there was no white until around 16 something, or even maybe earlier than that. I think it was around 1600s, 1681, like what they're saying there. Basically everybody joined together and was like, okay, let's call ourselves white. You had the high elites, which you talking about the Roskin Birds and Rothschilds and all them niggas, them devils. You had them, and they said, hey, let's join the groups. We'll all be white, and we'll call everybody else black. So regardless if you French, Viking Angelic, if you fucking from Denmark and all kinds of stuff, they're like, we'll call us white. Irish, we'll say or Scotland and all that, we'll say we're white because our skin, and then we'll call everybody else black. The dark skin's black. See, because back then it was legal for a woman to marry a slave, and everything was fine. Even in slavery, we was still taking their women, and Esau didn't like that. Well, the ones that were Esau, because not everybody that looked like that went back to Esau. You got to remember that Esau didn't like that. He seen that, he was like, okay, well, what's going to happen is if you marry a slave, you go into slavery. You marry a slave, your kids, and you have kids with them, your kids go into slavery. You see that? That's how that happened, okay? But what was Esau doing? Esau was going around sleeping and dropping his seed in slaves. That's how you get these kids that look like Frederick Douglass kids, Jefferson's kids. They're tares. they're going to be separated. Even though they're dark skinned, they're tares. You get what I'm saying? So you got the ones that were slaves, and their kids came out mixing, looking, whatever they call it, what, a melon, whatever, or, uh, you know, actually that term actually goes back to native and black, when they were like mixed. I can't remember what it's called. 'Cause on my father's birth certificate, that says that, but he's native and black. You know what I mean? And you could be mixed with French and call that too. I can't remember what the word is, but like my mother's birth certificate, my aunt's birth certificate still says Negro on it. And y'all want to be like, that was so long ago. My mother would only be like 60 years old, so get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. So, like I keep telling you guys, my great grandfather was a fucking slave. Like, I'm only 35 years old. My great grandfather was a fucking slave. So don't tell me, oh, that shit was a long time ago. Nigga, I'm only the fucking third generation. Like, okay, so my great grandfather, my grandfather, my mother, then me. You know what I mean? My father, mother, me. You know what I mean? Like, that's not fucking long. That's like 3-4 generations. 3 generations after. So, for history to get wiped out like that quick, for where people don't understand it, doesn't make sense. So basically, back to what I was saying. They're teaching you who, what, when, and where by what they say, but they didn't want to match it up with the Bible, right? That's why they took the Bibles out of the school, because if you actually were reading the Bible at the same time, you would be like, hold on, why in there, when it talks about going into slavery, it says that the Israelites went into slavery, but here we say that with the black people, they were Africans that went into slavery. But here it says that Africans sold Africans into slavery. That doesn't make fucking sense. If that was the case, even though that did happen where whites were selling whites and Africans did sell Africans, but if that was the case, then why did it not go even worse than that? Because the Bible says that we would never be able to be bought back again. Okay? Let me show you. No man shall buy you, right? Okay, so this is Deuteronomy 28:68, King James Version. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. Egypt, we're here in Egypt, Babylon, Egypt, Babylon the Great, bondage, whatever you want to call it. Again, with ships. With ships. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you got over here. Even Gad came over here on ships. Reuben came over here on ships. They may have came over here on King Solomon's ships and the naval ships, but they came over here on ships. And Judah even came over here on ships. Slave ships and Solomon's ships, because he came over in the naval. So guess what? He would have came over. There was Judites and Levites and Benjamites that came over with the Gadites and stuff too, because guess what? After the house of their father. So regardless if they was fucking them, Asherites and all that, the kids went with the mom. If the dads died in war, correct? The mom probably went back with the family. And then guess what? So you had Judah, Benjamin, Levi already over here as well. It may not have been the whole tribe like that, but it was over here. There were speckles, trust me. And even if there wasn't speckles, guess what? There was still some dark-skinned Gadites over here. Why? Why? Because they was dark-skinned in the beginning anyway. Okay? With ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Okay, so by him saying thou shalt see it no more again, that's saying when you're talking about these people that are talking about their Israel, that there is Israelis, that is their land again, it says thou shalt see it no more again. Okay? And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So you couldn't be bought out. In any other captivity, your brothers could come buy you. Okay? Your brothers could have came and bought you out. When we sold Manesh, Joseph into slavery, we could have bought him out. But instead, what they sold him out. And guess what? That's why we went into slavery. That's why he says, when you lead into captivity, you shall go into captivity. If you lead by the sword, you shall die by the sword. Though he does not play around with his rules. That's why when you guys offend one of us, you set for death. You steal from one of us, you set for death. Especially if you're 144,000. Even the 1/3. If you mess with one that's trying, you set for death. He says, do not offend one of my little ones. It's better for you to have a millstone around your neck and swung to the depths of the ocean. It's not that hard for you to understand. These scriptures are very simple. Okay? Well, I've had my not understanding stuff, but I kind of knew what stuff was, but didn't know. I want to verify. Like, I got stuck on words like the sea. I didn't know if it meant heathens or what it meant, and gotta make sure. Okay, so Slovakia. The fudge. There you go. So they tell you when. They don't tell you when, exactly when it happened. They tell you when, okay, back then, they don't tell you exactly why. Okay? Or maybe the dates and when is kind of, they don't go into all of the slavery. They don't tell you where that you came from. They say where as in you say Africa. They don't say where as in Israel. That you ran from, you were fleeing Hamites, you were fleeing Romans, you're fleeing Arabs, you were running. You fled into Africa to hide amongst people that look like you. That's how you know it had to be dark-skinned. Because if Ham is dark-skinned, Mizraim, Egypt, down there were dark-skinned people. They were not light-skinned people. They were dark-skinned people. In order to blend in, you had to be dark. Okay? Ham was the progenitor of the dark races. Have you not read the verses? Not the Negroes. Okay? Ham. Ham was Africa. Ham was given the dry lands. Okay? So, Shem. Okay. We're talking about Ham. So that's why also you can't say black. Why? Because Ham's black. You got dark-skinned Africans. They do not go back to Israel. You got Hamites. They know us to be of the Africans. Of the Negroes. There's videos on that. Even IUIC did something and was in Africa, and the dude was like, oh, you're a Negro. See? They know the difference. The Negroes. It's not the same. There's rules, man, and he sticks to his rules and his laws. He tells you keep the Sabbath, man. Keep it to the best of your ability. Hey, we all gonna struggle. We gonna go through things. But look, the main thing is try. We can't do everything perfect, right now. But as I was saying, it says when. They tell you where. They kind of tell you. They say Africa. That's it. They don't tell you where you came from before that. Who? They just call you black. They don't tell you who you were. And why you into slavery, they don't tell you. They don't tell you why you into slavery. They just say you were sold and traded and that was it. Now you're here. And you still don't know who you are. But you know now. That's why he says he's going to wake you up in these last days. Okay? Says he's going to wake you up. Romans 13:11. And know, and that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. Because we've been asleep. This is Romans 13:11. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Okay? So we got salvation closer than we believe. I mean, 2/3 of the nation's gonna die. So it ain't about no white. It ain't no black lives. It ain't no all lives matter. It ain't no LBQT, whatever. None of that shit matters. It ain't no I went to church today. I'm saved. I got baptized. No. None of that shit matters. You say you love God. It says follow the law, statute. Yahweh, it says follow the law, statute. If it says for the law of God is to keep my commandments. And my commandments aren't grievous. But yeah, you guys want to do everything based off feelings. None of this has to do with feelings. Okay? None of this has to do with feelings. A lot of you are, you're waking up and you're 2/3. You already know you're a 2/3. You waking up realizing, oh, I'm a 2/3, so fuck it. Like I said, some of you guys are pawns. It's not that you ain't important, but you got to get destroyed. And we must pray upon it. We must pray for the destruction of this place so we could get out of here. The more I see this world, the more I want to get out of it. Every day. The more I talk to people, the more I want to get out of here quicker. I don't even like being bothered. I don't like talking to people. People don't want to keep no truths. People don't. It's not about. People don't care about their family. They don't care about their self. They don't care about you. You women, none of you care. Y'all don't care. You men too. Y'all want to sleep around with women that's been slept with, committing adultery. Even the woman you got now that you calling your wife that you've been with, even if you in this truth, you still an adulterer. I know it says people be like, well, we can't be over righteous. Yeah, but you can't be committing adultery still. Just because, Yahweh Shai let the disciples eat on, that they were eating. Like, I understand that. Sometimes you work and you got to get by some drink. Sometimes you've got to work. We can't keep the Sabbath perfectly. But it doesn't mean that you can sleep with every girl because she says she's a virgin. Or you can sleep with her because she says she's single. There's still rules. There's things that are required. Unless her husband is dead, you need a bill of divorce. Okay? I know a lot of y'all be like, no, we don't need to do that. No, you're in this truth. You need a bill of divorce. Look, just jump down to 3. Deuteronomy 24:3. And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorce and give it, you need a bill of divorce. Period. Plain and simple. Okay? 24. When a man have taken a wife and marry her, and it come to pass that he find no favor in her eyes, because he have found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorce. So you ain't even supposed to be arguing with these women. She's doing stuff that's uncleanly. It's unrighteous. She's sleeping around. She's dirty. You write her a bill of divorce. She's talking back. Send her back to her father. She don't know how to cook. Send her ass home. And then send her out of your house. That's it. But for you other men that are going to sleep with her, it says, and when she depart out of his house, she may go and be married to another man's wife. Or may go and be another man's wife. If she has the bill of divorce. So just because a dude broke up with her, do you have a bill of divorce? How much you want to be in this truth? Because according to the Bible, it says, blessed is he that is, that is saved from a woman. You know what I mean? That's taken out of her hands, because a lot of these women are evil. You know, they'll get you to go get jumped and do drugs and all kinds of stuff. It says, blessed is the man that escapes out of her wickedness traps or snares and stuff like that. So a lot of you men that then lost your woman, when you got in this truth, you blessed, man. That's a blessing. I mean, I'm on the same thing. I understand it sucks. You know, we want women. You know, we can't even do what we was created to do, was, you know, reproduce and worship Yahweh. Well, we was created to worship Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, but I mean, we can't even reproduce in this place. Everything is wicked. You know. So I know a lot of y'all be like, well, we can't be over righteous. I got to get some coochie. Like, man, you got to suffer. You know, you suffer now. He says he's going to give you 100-fold later, whatever's taken from you. So I mean, I'm a 35-year-old king, you know what I mean, 35-year-old guy. I ain't never slept with no virgin. All the women I've ever been with has been adultery, according to this. I have not yet ever laid with a woman and made her my wife. You know? So, I mean, with all this stuff coming to pass, so you got a lot of prophecies coming to pass. You know, you got the Mark of the Beast coming out, the RFID chip. You got, I was thinking about this today too, man. Like, people forget that there's still earthquakes and hurricanes and things in diverse places and fires. There's fires starting up again, but people forgetting about the earthquakes. That stuff's still coming. They act like it's going to just quit just because the coronavirus stuff's going on. The Most High is not playing. He's still going to keep sending plague after plague after plague. It's not going to stop. Look. It's not gonna stop. Okay? And this is number 26. And it shall come to pass after the plague, that after the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Eleazar the sons of Aaron and the priests, saying, let me skip down. Yeah, basically this one talks. Oh yeah, right there, because it said fires right there. Die in the family. Yeah. Damn it, where'd it go? Slovakia. Well, as long as you know that the plagues ain't gonna stop, man. The plagues is gonna come. They gonna keep coming. Okay? The first plague, the water turned to blood. You know what I mean? And there are places all over the world where it's red, the water's turning red. Y'all will be like, oh, that's a coincidence. But there's no such thing as a coincidence. The Most High is omnipotent, okay? With that said, I hope this was edifying. Oh, slacking. With that said, hope this was edifying. But remember, the real question is why? Ask them for now, why did they go into slavery? Ask these history people, why? Who was it that went into slavery? What Africans? You know, they're not Africans. Who? What? Why? Where? Where did they come from? You got to ask the real questions. And with that said, Shalom.